Hello everyone once again, and welcome to another one-shot. Today's game is No Man's Sky. Let me adjust the audio a little bit so it doesn't drown me out. It's actually quite loud in my headphones. But what can you do, right? The game is essentially a looting, crafting, and exploration game. There's some story to it, but not really much. Certainly nothing to get worked up about. Let me see how my items are going. The pulse engine needs a little fuel. Which one is it? Yeah, it's that one. I've been, sorry about that. I've been building this base for a little while. Let's grab this oxygen. And drop some energy in there. Now, you'll notice the conditions on this particular planet are actually rather extreme. The idea is that you would explore these more dangerous planets to get better resources. Oh, hell, I hate when that happens. It's, uh-oh. There's a sentinel. You don't want to deal with those guys. Which is why these vehicles are actually quite useful. So the storm is clearing, which means the radiation won't be quite as bad if I step out. But on this particular planet, there's storms almost every other minute, it seems. But that's not such a deal with if you've got cars. There's actually a second. There's actually a sub-quest series that helps you get most of the land-based cars. The land-based vehicles cars, listen to me. And there's another sub-quest unrelated to that one that'll get you a submarine. Although the submarine isn't quite as useful unless you're dealing with an ocean world. At least as far to my knowledge, you can't get any weapons for it. Although I'm sure if I look around, I'll be able to find some. Right now, I'm mining ferrite. Damn. That's one of the annoying parts of No Man's Sky. The vehicle lasers have this tendency to drift away from your target, leaving it so you have to constantly adjust your beam in order to maintain the target and mine enough and to mine its ore. I'm not sure why salt and sodium are separate elements in this game, but whatever. You may remember a year or two back, when the game first came out. Let me take care of that real quick. Let me see if I have any more to spare. I don't, so I'm gonna have to jack some carbon. Need to find a good place to get a lot of it. Told you it was a lot of storms. Anyway, what was I saying? When the game came out, it was vastly different. Quite frankly, vastly inferior. Let me just, over here. And it was the target of a ton of controversy. Yeah, it's, there we go, a little better. And it was the target of a ton of controversy and accusations of lying on the part of the head of Hello Games, the game's creator, a fellow by the name of Sean Murray. Since the initial release, they patched the ever-loving hell out of the game, and have really made it into something a lot better. Although I don't think it'll ever reach the dizzying expectations that people had for it. They did get the multiplayer in. I've disabled it by blocking the executable and firewall, because I don't want any disruptions to my game. But that is a thing, both on Steam and GOG. Yeah. There you go, we now have a more respectable amount of carbon. I mean, a respectable charge. I do have to get more carbon, though. See how I'm doing for ferrite. A little more, and I'll be able to do some more work on the base. But at the end of the day, while there was more story added, it was never really what you'd call a compelling story. That means, I gotta dump something. I'm gonna go back. There's a few things I want to do. Let me get up out. Unfortunately, you can't actually build. Oh hell, this is a bug in the current build. Actually, it's been a long-standing one. You can't just there we go. You can't just use things from nearby exocraft. You have to put them in either your starship or your exosuit inventory. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that exocraft weren't part of the initial release. Actually, there's a ton of stuff that wasn't part of the initial release that they had to work their asses off to include in the game at a later date. Base building is one of the bigger examples. Obviously, the exocraft, additional story elements, the multiplayer. They fiddled with the formulas and the names of some items from time to time. That's an interesting glitch. See what we can make, yeah? Yes, we know. Anyway, thankfully I have a lot of magnetized ferrite, which I can in turn use to make some pure. As you can see, there are multiple classes of refiners that you could use for the purpose, or for any other number of purposes. These advanced ones are allow you to refine two things at once, while these big giant ones take a lot of material to build, but allow you to put in three elements at once. There's also a portable refiner you can use that can only take one at a time and needs to be powered with carbon. But it can help you out in certain ways, like if you need to quickly refine some ferrite in order to get your base built. However, for the most part, I forgot about that. For the most part, the game is meant to be a sort of chill experience. Let me see what a haul's at. Let's put that there. There. Those domes really aren't useful for much of anything. Didn't I just take the pure? Oh, I used some of it for this crap. That happens. Oh, we have some more pure ferrite. Let me see if that's enough to build the little expansion. Nope. Now, you might wonder why I'm trying to make those more, shall we say, expensive pieces. And quite simply, it's because there's things you could put there that you can't put on the regular base parts. Most notably, well, at least you can't put them in without them looking terrible, like the first aid station and the shield recovery. Yeah, first aid and shield recovery, was it? No, it was. Yeah, I think it was. I'll take a look at it. The two stations for health and stuff, or the Galactic Trade Terminal, which I'm sure you can imagine is actually quite important. Here's a sentinel, which in most cases you don't want to mess with. They're quite insignificant in small numbers, but the more you kill, the more, shall we say, threatening creatures will come about to replace them. So it'll start out with one sentinel, then two sentinels, then two sentinels, and like this big-ass dog sentinel. And then two sentinels followed by this giant fucking battle mech thing. I haven't quite gotten the nerve to get to one at level 5 yet. Though I'm sure it's quite the show. Keep getting goodies. Yes, these little rocks, though you wouldn't think it, are a very good source of ferrite. You take the dust, and you refine it as much as you need. And I have attracted another sentinel. So we'll just wait for him to be done. Nobody here but us chickens, bro. But yeah, this is a game that that you just chill with. You know? It's not a very high stakes game. There's not a lot of fast action in it. In fact, there's surprisingly little action at all. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's a little glitch. If you get out, your beam will still show, although it won't do anything. Gives you time to scan and make little discoveries. Let's finish what we were doing. As you can see, it's a very good thing to have a vehicle, as it speeds up the mining. You might notice that the vehicle mining laser doesn't heat up, which is a mechanic that you do have to worry about for your handheld mining beam. Let me show you. Did a little bar on the upper right. It'll reset if you give it a second, but it can be easy to overheat if say you're trying to mine something huge, and there will be huge things. You'll find those are dihydrogen deposits. I've got a fair bit of that, I think. Dioxide. Huh, thought I did. Weird. But we'll pick that up later. You use that mainly to make launch fuel. Although you can also use uranium to power up your ship's launching thrusters. Hey, cool. Let's see here. I could have swore I had more. Well, I got enough launch thruster fuel. I don't need it just yet. So, yeah, it's... Indeed. Now, this is perhaps a bad planet to use for, shall we say, hold on a second. I don't need that. I don't even have chlorine. I don't need anything with that needs it now, so. Now this is a bad planet, perhaps, to demo the game with, because it's an uncharted world. See, there are three dominant races in the universe. The Gek, which are the trade race. The Viking, which is the warrior race, and the Korvax, which are the science race. And each system you run into will either be controlled by one of them, or will be an uncharted planet. I mean, an uncharted system that has not been explored by any other races. Cadmium. And often, the uncharted ones will either have planets with extreme conditions, like this radioactive planet, or you'll have Sentinels with a kill on sight directive, which means they don't even need to catch you doing anything. They'll just kill you the instant they see you, which makes a vehicle even more important. Now, see, I'm using my my vehicle laser. Uh-oh. Oh, crap. I must have hit him while I was mining. That's a bad thing. Let's, get out of his sight. Once you get out of sight, he'll start searching. And as long as he doesn't get a bead on you, you can hang back, wait, 2, 1, and it's done. The Sentinel will now leave you alone to go back to whatever the hell you were doing before he came to you. However, it's good that that happened, because that's pretty much what you want to do if you're in a place with highly aggressive Sentinels. Because otherwise, what'll happen is that you'll eventually get ganged up on. And that ain't cool. Let's put some more into the, there we go. And yes, I used oxygen to recover the mining laser. As far as I could tell, I've gotten most of the ore here. Without a vehicle, you'll have to use the something called the terrain manipulator, which, as the name implies, manipulates terrain. You can either use it to destroy terrain, which is how you mine the ores, or you can use it to raise terrain, which can be used for cosmetic purposes. You know, building a more natural wall around your base, for example. Anyway, we've got plenty of ferrite dust. And we are going to go back to base. I'd like to apologize for how tired I sound. I've been out much of the day. The gym I go to is a fair distance from my house, so getting there on the on days is quite the adventure. There's one being built, I don't want to say closer to my house per se, but closer to the bus route, so I don't have to do as much walking when I get off the bus. I'm gonna look and see if I like that one as well as I like my current one, and decide whether I should switch out. But anyway, here's our base. So I'm gonna just Come here. How am I doing on carbon? How am I doing on anything? Holy shit. I can use this phosphorus, I suppose. Now, there are going to be other elements. There are going to be lots of elements that are found only on specific planets. For example, phosphorus is found on. Oh no, I can't use phosphorus. How do you like that shit? Phosphorus is found on hot planets. Dioxide on cold. Uranium on radioactive. Paraffinium on, as it says, tropical planets. And something else on toxic planets. You can find fungal molds there as well. You can find gamma roots and radioactive. These play into the farming mechanic. Let me put all this ferrite. Where's the ferrite dust? The ferrite dust. Come on, where's the rest of it? There it is. There it is. That's weird. Let's try that again, shall we? Yeah, the way the, shall we say, okay, 1-to-1. The way the refiners act is a little buggy. You'll get the same amount, but if you've been tinkering with recipes and swapping out ingredients, it might not completely change the amount of time or use up all your materials. Which can make for a bit of a frustrating time trying to get everything, as you'll have to babysit the refiners. But at least it's not ripping you off, right? So let's wait for these. Thankfully, as I said, you don't really need to worry about losing anything, and the refiners work by themselves. Let's use that. Here's a tip for getting some carbon quickly. You take your carbon and you mix it with oxygen. And now you'll see for every 2 units of these two, you'll get 5 condensed carbons. And you can see the babysitting in action. We'll have to put that in there. And again. And again. I don't really mind it, but for some it could be a little more annoying than it maybe should be. I think that should be the last of it. And there you go. Now you could just burn the oxygen straight into carbon, but why would you do that? When you can add other elements and get other things. For example, mixing with a paraffinium will give you star bulbs, which are usually found on tropical planets. Mixing with salt will give you an efficient salt evaporation of chlorine, which means you'll get more than if you just concentrate the salt normally. But anyway, we have a bunch of carbon. We have a bunch of condensed carbon now. So we'll use that to power the oxygen harvester, which is used to pull oxygen from the atmosphere, whatever it can find, and make it ready for use. Anyway, we have a we have enough pure ferrite now to build one expansion, and there we go. Let's get inside. And now I have a place where health stations, shield stations, and trading outposts won't look quite as horrible. Okay, where's the... No, that's not permanent. There's the permanent. There's a trade terminal, but I need a microprocessor, which means I have to come here and build one. Thankfully, I have the materials necessary, which is chromatic metal and carbon nanotube. Now, this is this, as I've mentioned, is the main loop of the game. Put that there. You build items to build more items to fuel your ship, so you can move along and you can restart the process over and over again. Health and hazard, which is let's put the hazard here, and the health here. So now we have health, and to use this we need 10 ferrite dust, which will increase our hazard protection. I don't know why I thought it was shield. Weird. Guess it wouldn't make any sense since shields already charge on their own. But yeah, you can expand your base as much as you like. And let me see if I can put a portal here. Now, portals allow you to go. Ion battery. Where's that? That's advanced. Regular ion battery requires 25 cobalt and 20 ferrite dusts. So off into the abyss again. Now, portals are useful because they can quickly transport you back to any base that has a portal, or to any space station whose portal that you've used. This allows you to more effectively go back and forth between the universe. And can also be a very good out in case you get stuck somewhere with shall we say, a poor resource load. Hey, look, an animal. Did I scan that one already? In fact, we found quite a few animals. Let's see if we've scanned this one. Scan. Thank you. Basically, a large part of the game is also spent scanning and looking for life. Now, you'll find various life forms in the land and water, and scanning them will give you various bonuses. Most notably, money. And nanite clusters, which can be used for upgrade purposes. Wait. I hate when this happens. Let's take a look at that. Let's push up. That's one thing. No, I've already seen those. Something I wish about this game is that you could scan while in vehicles. Now you can expand your supplementary oxygen or supplementary hazard protection with modules, but of course you have a limit to how many modules you can use at any one time. Now you can come over here and top off on your main at least. Which will allow you to explore a little longer without suffocating. These little spiky things are mostly for getting a component for the fuel that powers up the submarine. But for the most part, it's not especially important. Over here. Now you'll notice all these little symbols. This is where deposits of minerals are, such as silver, gold, cadmium, and etc. I should add that this is by no means an exhaustive guide of the various mechanics of No Man's Sky. That would take quite a while. Let me take care of that before it gets too problematic. You can use sodium or sodium nitrate to take care of the issue. In addition, you can also use ion batteries and armor plating, which I think it's called armor plates or something like that. Use that as well. So you're never truly boned, per se, unless you're playing in survival difficulty, like the extreme survival difficulty. I don't know what it's called. Yeah. I have to call it the bullshit difficulty, personally. Now, I know you're supposed to see all the animals in a on a planet to advance that ranking and help forward yourself through the Atlas path, which is one of the story paths you can go through. But it gets damn near impossible to find the last few animals on any particular planet, and quite frankly, it can be very exhausting to do so. Now, you might think that I've boned myself because I am hella far from my vehicle. However, no, I don't need to do that. There we go. I can actually... Whoa! Let me take care of that real quick. That can sure sneak up on you, let me tell you. Anyway, what was I showing you? Oh, yes. You can get your car by summoning it. Let's summon the Nomad. And it teleports right to you. So long as you have a either the drop pads or that summoning station, you can bring your cars to you, which is actually quite useful, as I'm sure you can imagine. Let's power up the engine. And give a little power to to the laser. So, if you're responsible with your resources, you should never have to really worry about being completely and utterly stranded. Which is a far cry from the original version of the game, which you either went everywhere with your starship and used a lot of damn fuel. What's this? Pure ferrite and uranium. I can use that. Sorry, just quenching my thirst here with a little Diet Coke. And let's grab this. Wait, I do have space for this, right? Yeah, good. I've done that a few times. Started mining only to realize, oh crap, I'm completely tapped out. It's a shite feeling, let me tell you. There we go. There we go. Just tear through the deposit. Come on. Come on. I really want to show off one at least charted system so that I can show you guys the races. And it's increasingly looking like I'm going to have to abandon this base, at least for now, without setting up a portal. Which can be a bit of a bitch. No worries, though. Hopefully, with any luck, the map screen will lead me back here. Or I can at least use a stations portal to get back here. So I'm going to stop right now, since I can't find any caves. That's usually where you find cobalt. Actually, let me try something before we do that. Let me pull out the gun, switch to the terrain manipulator. See if I can't find a tunnel. Usually the answer is no, but hey, it's worth a try, right? Nope. No fun tunnels here. Which means we have to refill the terrain manipulator. No, it's in the multi-tool. Go to terrain manipulator and you use metals. There we go. It was, as they say, worth a shot. Anyway, let's use the our summoning ability. That's one thing, you gotta make sure that's a suitable a suitable terrain, because unlike your vehicles, which simply teleport, your starship will actually land, which, unless you're using a beacon, which is found in certain abandoned buildings, you're going to have to use launch fuel for it, which means if you're not launching, it's such a pain in the ass trying to find a good spot, you know? Nope. There we go. And here it comes. The whole landing sequence, and then you just hop on. So we are now leaving. And we are off into the great unknown. Now, you have to leave a planet in its atmosphere before you can use your warp, which I'm going to do right now. Go to the galaxy map. And as you can see, I have a base in an uncharted location. Let's station, current mission, NA, galactic core, free explore. So now you can explore freely. Let's see here. Here's a Viking section. So we go. Sorry about that. And after, yes, the pauses are not because of the streaming equipment. I mean, the streaming program. That's normally what happens, and it's kind of shitty because I know this is supposed to be hiding load times, but it's not doing as good a job. There are also a few hiccups when you first enter a new environment. So here we are. And now we have a bunch of new planets. Oh yes, the base computer archive. That's another mission. Not important right now. You can take various missions for items and cash. See how I'm doing money-wise. Oh no, yeah, that is the right button. 16 million units, which isn't bad, but it could be better. Too close to... Really? Too close to the space station? There we go. Oh yeah, I was close to the other one, the anomaly. So you can use the pulse engines to blast around inside a solar system, which can help with the crushingly long... Oh. With the otherwise crushingly long travel times. Trust me, the first thing you want to do, if your ship doesn't have working pulse drive, is to get that bad boy working. And now we enter the space station. And from here we can shop for a new weapon, upgrade kits, we could trade resources and accept missions from the local life forms. So let's do that. These are the two main guilds. They offer missions and rewards. But we're not going to do that right now. We're going to go to the shopping area, which is opposite the guilds. Yes, I know. Let's see if our this weapon is better than current. Let's see if it is. And no, it isn't. Compare. It's a higher rating, but the number of slots is disappointing. And unlike your exosuit, there doesn't seem to be any way to upgrade slots for your gun. So you want to keep a gun with a lot of slots in it. Here's the exosuit upgrades. You can buy them, one per space station, and you can put them in either put them in tech, cargo, or general. Although there is a limit to how many you can put, as I've reached with technology. So let's go here and upgrade the suit. So now I can carry more stuff. This guy will help me. Will help sell me. Will sell me upgrade units for the suit, which I can't use right now because I'm full. This guy will help me with spaceship technology. Let's take a look. As you can tell, they they trade the recipe for your nanites, not the upgrades themselves. And the third blueprint. So now we have all the blueprints. Let's see what this guy has. Hey, cool, navigation data. You can use those with signal boosters to find objectives as well. Now here's a interesting mechanic. You have to pick up words. You have to pick up words of their language, which can be a bit of a bitch, because you have to get them by either bribing NPCs or by finding relics, essentially, these monoliths, which will sometimes give you words. Let's trade nanite clusters for blueprints, but I already have all the blueprints this guy has, so I can't buy anything from him. And here's another blueprint salesman. Okay, I guess I got it. There we go. Most of the time you can suss out what needs to be done. Or they'll give you an objective marker or something like that. But I guess it was their attempt to make the... let me grab that. I think it was an attempt to make the world more immersive, but instead it sort of makes it feel a little less personal, since nobody really has a personality, as far as you could tell. And here we are with sorry about that. With our galactic trade network. This is where you would this is the same thing that we built on the base. You would basically use this interface to sell or buy things. And as you can see, it also has all my ranks. And I'm pretty high up in everything, except, of course, for zoology, because you have to completely see everything on a planet to get that to move. And as I've mentioned, that's a lot of work to find the last few things, usually. So let's see what's for sale. Let's see. You can move this around and try to sell for more than you're buying, or you can use or you can get resources if you need them and can't find them any other way. This can help for quick building and the like. Of course, you can also sell your stuff. You know, if you're getting a good actually, wait a minute. Let me see if that living nope. Take a look. As you can see, they have a little percentage number that tells you how far above or below the galactic average something is selling for. Not quite so important if you're just taking stuff from planets, but it can be a very big issue if you're buying and selling the big commodity stuff. Anyway, this is getting a little long, so before we end the show, I want to take on a mission, which should help us find some buildings on the planet. What's up, son? Yeah. So let's browse the missions. And we have some missions. Collect 250 pyrite. Intrepid shootout. That'll help us with the combat. Let's accept that. Let's see here. The new black, collect 250 pyrite. Now you could take as many, as far as I can tell, as you like. Though I honestly try not to overload myself. Novelize. Now they'll give you a description, but usually you'll be led to where you need to go unless it's unless it's one of those collection missions. And yeah, I think that's enough. We're good. Now let's yeah, it's here. Is it? No, it's in the other menu. Now first we come here and we'll upload all of our discoveries. No, I didn't. What did you take? Hell. What? No, let me just upload the thing. There we go. I don't know why none of these are letting me upload. I guess the planets, they're a bit anal about making sure that you have actually seen them. But in the reality, it doesn't really matter. I don't know why there's a hide option, really. And I'm not sure why you'd want to hide anything like this. Let me take a look again. I can still see them. Weird stuff. Either way, that's not really as important. Now we go to the log, and that's where the missions are. Secondary mission. Let's take a look for Intrepid Shootout. And that's going to be our first mission. Now, as soon as we get out, exactly, they'll tell us where the pirate is, where that little 1 star there. So let's just use the pulse engine to close the distance. Oh, we about to fight. Now, unlike your mining laser, the combat laser, you do need to wait to for it to cool down. There are various other weapons you can use. And most of them don't seem to take up energy, but you will need to you'll need to worry about heat. Now, normally I'd do all 5 before going back, but for the sake of this playthrough, I'll just go back here. And boom. Come here to the space station and just turn it in. And you land again. And there you go. So here we are. And you tell them you have a mission to hand in, so you go to handed missions. And there it is. We now have 91 nanites and an increased standing. So let's leave. since we have nothing else to do. You might notice we have another aircraft. You can talk to the owners of the aircraft while they're there, and buy the aircraft from them or exchange for your own aircraft, if you like. As long as you have the credits. See what's here. There's a glacial, so that's where you can find dioxide. Let's go over here. This planet is fragmented, which I'm not sure what the hell that means. And what's the final one? Because I knew there was another one. No, that's the one I just saw. Wasn't there a third one? Or is it just 2 planets? Oh, there's the third planet. Usually there are 2 or 3 planets. And overgrown, which is a tropical. So we can't do the radioactive world objective here. Instead, we're going to find another one. This is, let's see what landscape. Take a photo of an observatory. So we got to find an observatory. So let's go. Now, some planets will, of course, be more useful than others. And you can only figure it out by actually going to the planet. Thankfully, much of the distance can be traveled quickly with the pulse engine. But the last bit of re-entry you'll have to do manually. Admittedly, though, even with the pulse engine, some of these travel times can be long. There's very little in the way of time dilation. It's just, you're just here, staring into nothing, while stars and rocks kind of flow around like it's Star Trek or something. Fun facts: the rocks around a planet can also be mined. That's usually where you'll find tritium and stuff like that. And here we are entering the planet's atmosphere. And we're about to find out what fragmented means. This doesn't look like a place that's going to have much of anything. Lots of beautiful beautiful stuff floating around. But it doesn't look like there's going to be any observatories or anything of the sort. Just what looks like, for lack of a better term, modern art. Might explore this at some point. Thankfully, the pulse engine can be used to leave atmosphere, if not enter it. So we're going to go to the overgrown planet. And see what they've got going. Much more likely to find an observatory there. And, yes, if you think this is loud, even with the in-game volume lower, you should hear it in my headphones. It's actually quite distracting. I do not advise playing this at full volume if you've got headphones on, or anywhere near full volume. Unless you'd like to hear this fucking rumbling sound in your sleep. Anyway. And this is the downfall of these exploration games, in my opinion. Yeah, exploring is fun, but there's a lot of time spent just doing absolutely fucking nothing. And well, your mind can wander if you're not careful. But eventually you get there and you're able to enter atmosphere. And here you are. Hey, cool, a landing pad. That was quick. Let's take a look. Thankfully, these landing pads will help you take off without having to worry about launch thruster fuel. Now here you can mark your little discovery. Now, what kind of building is this? Often it's not immediately apparent what the building is for. Let's go to photo mode. Take a picture. Change height. And yes, I am using a controller. I kind of prefer it for this game due to the some of the unusual bindings that you can't really change for your keyboard. Let's take a screenshot. And there's your photo. And there's our objective. Yep. But we also have another oh no, this was the radio tower. Okay. So we still have to find an observatory. So we have portable equipment. I need one metal plating to create a signal booster. Which means I'm going to have to get... See, do I have enough ferrite dust? No, I don't. So I'm just going to run away from that fucking sentinel. Do some scanning. You gotta scan to make sure you can get that secondary element, whatever it is. Just get some of that. And you get some ferrite dust. Whoa. It's 50 ferrite dust to make a metal plate. And yes, I think the names are also randomly generated. You can actually rename them when you're turning in your uploading your discovery. But I never do because it's just not important, and there's so much of it. It just all kind of blends together after a while. Oh, that was pure ferrite. This is what I need. Although this will be a nice, easy place to build a base at, I think. Let's just get all of this. And yeah, you want to scan whenever possible. You know, to see what secondary... Oh, no, we don't want to do that. We want to make our signal booster. Oh, I forgot. I gotta make the metal plate. So we make the metal plate. And now we can make the signal booster. And the signal booster allows you to look for things. Nearby structure. Or use the navigational data that you found, which lets you look for things. Frequencies, secure frequencies, frequencies, habitable outposts, or artifacts. So let's look for secure frequencies. Cross-referencing. And booyah! We have found an operations center. And that's actually kind of useless. Well, let's just go here and take a look at the base. Oftentimes I'll have little mini games. 50-40, 720, 120, 24. Whew. I'm not sure how this goes. Let me see something. A lot of the time you can just exit out and use your Windows calculator to figure out the problem. So let me see, 50-40 minus 720. That's weird. That's nowhere near the really the biggest thing is to figure out the sequence. Once you've figured that out, you can really get somewhere. The problem, of course, is getting the sequence in. Let me see something. 50-40. How do you get to 720 from 50-40 in this setup? Actually, let's go backwards a bit. 12, 24. So let's go 20. Let's clear this out. Clean that out. 20. Clear, damn it. 24x 3 equals 72. So that's not it. MC. Let's trash that out. A lot of math. So if mathematics is not your strong suit, this might not be the game for you. Let me see, 24 times 4. 96. 24 times 5 is 120. Okay, let's see. So what's 24 divided by 4? That's 6. So let's input 6. And there you go. Gives us standing with the Korvax. And you see the distress beacon on your map. Usually that's a downed ship that you can claim. But we're not going to do that right now. I'm kind of happy with the ships I have. Yeah, let's see. Browsing the surrounding landscape, certain areas contain markings that represent sentinels, which the life form is highlighting with an excited snarl. Hell. That's a problem. Let's give a catalyst. Whoa. That didn't work. And that decreased my standing with the Vy'keen. Well, it was worth a shot, right? let's just leave them alone. And walk on by. So, the alien had nothing for me in this particular instance. They will sometimes have missions, or if you can guess their silly little puzzle, you'll get nice items from it. Anyway, we have an unknown building over here. This actually not a building at all. It's a beacon. Yeah, we're still looking for observatories. Let's just use the waypoint, which will again scan through, looking for random crap. Let's see what we get this time. Minor settlement. I have no desire to screw with the Sentinel right now. So I'm just going to fly along, see if I can't find anything. Usually it takes a while to find what you're looking for. That is not an observatory. That's a communication station. Which we are not needing right now. Come on, observatories. Yeah. Whoa, another unknown building. Let's see if we're lucky. That's depot. Blow those up, you can get good items, but you're certain to get massive Sentinel resistance if you do. So it's a bit of a risk reward type of deal. You know, let's go to that minor settlement. Now, in addition to the, well, not in addition, you can't use the pulse engine in atmosphere, but you can get a bit of afterburner by holding the B button on the Xbox controller. I believe, yeah, that's about right. That's the circle button on a PlayStation controller. Since all the buttons are in the same position, they're just marked with the appropriate controller markings to what controller you put in. Which I think is a nice touch, personally. I think this might be what we were looking for. Let's just slide on in. Sorry about that. And we have reached. Let's see what this is. A building. That's helping me. We're going to find out if it's an observatory or not by taking a picture. And the mission complete has not clicked in, so no, it is not. Now, if you find these, you can also trade for guns. We have a 20 slot. Let's compare. Mine is 23 slot and is better in the damage and scan. Is better in damage and equal in scanner. So there's really no reason to buy this. So we're gonna decline and leave it there. Instead, we're gonna talk to this guy. Yeah, you too, bro. Okay. Black bubbles of blood emerged through the slit in the glove. They hand me the knife. Okay, let's do it. The warrior grabs my bleeding hand and spits on it. They reward me for my part in this rite. So you get 14 recovered standing, but you lose a health square. And here's another guy selling blueprints, which I have all of. Now, since I'm here, let me build. I need 4 ion batteries and an antimatter. See if I can build any of that shit. The antimatter I need condensed carbon for. Which means I'm going to need to build a portable refiner. Portable refiner, I need a metal plate. Let's drop that there. Now, of course, we need fuel for it since it's portable. So we gotta find some trees to destroy. Thankfully, since this is a tropical planet, the trees are quite easily found. And you can just blast them until they burst. Boom. Here's another tree. And here's a hazardous... No. That's not what I wanted to scan. I wanted to scan this little bastard. Thank you. Now, hazardous flora, when you kill it, gives you oxygen, which is always a nice thing to have. So you get a bunch of carbon. And yes, it does take a while. But when you do, you'll have carbon to power your portable, how to put it? Your portable refiner. See how much? I want to put some more. I want to get some more carbon before I start. Oh, cool. That helps too. There's some carbon crystals. Now the life support is powered by, of course, oxygen. So all the oxygen we've been farming, we could do that. Oxygen, as you've guessed, is quite the useful material. So I'm doing with the antimatter. Boom, I can make an antimatter. Now for the 4 ion batteries. Now, what was it I needed again? Cobalt and ferrite dust. Not too difficult. I think that might be a cave, which is always a nice thing to have. Because caves are where you're going to find most of the cobalt. Is it a cave? Can I make it a cave? Let's grab the terrain manipulator and do some manipulating. This is different. I guess it's not a cave. These vortex cubes can be picked up to sell. They fetch a pretty alright price. And as long as you have the space, there's really no harm, no foul. Here's some more hazardous flora. These guys you could just walk and just rip them up with your hands, although you will have toxic exposure. Usually it's enough for your shields to take care of. Let's see if I'm lucky here and at least get some... Whoa. Ugh. I hate when I do that. There we go, mining beam. Yes, I have several weapons loaded to the tool. You know what? I'm not going to get enough cobalt. At least not here. So instead, what I'm going to do... Come on. Is go back to the space station. Let me get one of these health kits. Health restored. And grab that. Normally I wouldn't, but you could probably get a little money for it. Make up for the 4 fucking batteries I'm about to buy. So I come here. Sell items. So we can get rid of some of this crap. Starship inventory. Let's see. The rusted metal. Not bad. Exosuit inventory. Let me sell this cope, right? No need there. No, wait, I didn't want to do that. Okay, well, we can buy anyway. Let's see. Ion battery. We need 1, 2, 3, 4. And it was very little of a penalty because they're actually quite cheap, I think. In fact, it was more than enough with the junk, so we get the Exocraft summoning station. Put that there. And now, I can summon my Exocraft. Which one, though? Matilion. Can't do that. Let's go with the Roamer. It's a nice, average bit of kit. Okay. Need to power that. Very necessary to have that. Abandoned structure. Depots. None of which is what I actually need. You know, I don't think I'm going to be finding an observatory in a timely manner, so I'm going to call it a video because I think I've gotten the point across of what you do in No Man's Sky. I hope you've enjoyed the show. I bit my tongue a little bit there. Next time I'll be coming back with a more kinetic game. But I did feel it important to take a look at this bad boy. I hope you've all had a good time. And have a good day. God bless you.